Okay, good morning, guys. Today is the last day of the class. So, in the first place, I believe that you have learned something new, and enjoy the statistics. Okay, I prefer statistic because I believe that statistic is more interesting than mathematics. Okay, don't know. Uh, okay, what about homeworks? Have you done? Because today is the last day of the homework. Okay, all of them. I mean, from 1 to 8. Few students asked me that is it possible to extend another day. I will actually try it because yesterday I emailed our course coordinator whether it is possible to extend another day, but I'm not sure. Still I didn't get a reply from him. I'll try to do my best, okay, at least to extend another day, but I'm not sure if if it won't work, then your homework will be due tonight, okay. Otherwise tomorrow I'll let you know, okay, once I get a reply from him. Okay. As I mentioned, we have one problem for the final exam based on binomial stuff, binomial distribution, chapter 5. So first of all, I'll go through a binomial type question. Let me pick the second problem. Okay, this problem. Binomial type questions, they are very similar to each other. All questions you need to find the success probability first, then try to find the figure it out what is the number of observations, n, simple n. Then you can simply plug the values to your distribution, binomial distribution, and find what they ask. Okay, right, let's do the question 2, second one. Okay, in this case, let me right, 4 competitions. She's taking 4 competitions. So altogether she's taking 4, which means n equals 4. If the probability of her winning, let me call it probability of success, PS, or probability of winning, whatever, okay, is 0.45, right? It's given. Otherwise, how do you find this success probability? Success probability, you can find number of successes divided by total n. This is how we find the success probability. Okay, always success defined on what they asked. Okay, what they ask. In this question, they ask find the probability of her winning. So in this problem, winning is your success probability. Clear? Winning at least one. If I consider her winning attempts, oh, not attempts, winning number of winnings, capital X, this is gonna be probability of capital X at least one. What's mean by at least one? One or more. Maximum is what? 4. Okay. So greater than or equal 1. So this is what you need to find. If I consider X is the number of winnings. Okay. So X has values. Yes, let me call it capital X. X has values 0, 1, 2, 3, maximum is 4 because number of trials is 4 or attempts is 4. Okay. So how do you find this? To find this, let me scroll it down. Okay, this is what you need to find. Probability of capital X, sorry, greater than or equal 1. Okay. To do that, since this is a discrete case, okay, you have to find greater than or 1, which means probability of X equals 1, exactly 1 winning. Probability of exactly 1 winning plus X equals 2, 2 winnings, exactly 2 winnings. Yeah, this is about game. Yeah. x equals 3 plus x equals 4, exactly 4 winnings. This is the maximum you can go because there are 4. Okay, so once you get the sum of these 4, you will get what you need. Okay, right. How do you get the values for these each probabilities? This is your binomial. Okay, since I consider number of winning is my capital X or my variable, I can write it like this. Capital X, which means number of her winnings, has a binomial distribution, BIN, binomial, number of trials, N, which is 4, and the success probability, comma, success probability, which is 0.45. Okay, always this guy, N, this guy, success probability. That's the order. Okay, right. How do you find this? Just use this binomial distribution, plug the values and get what you need. Okay, this for this one. Let me write the binomial distribution for you. So if you need to find probability of capital X equals simple X, this is the general version of the binomial distribution. Binomial coefficient, first n x. X is the number of successes. Okay, x x. Then p to the power x, 1 minus p to the power n minus x. This is a binomial distribution. So you have to plug values for each of these. What happens when x equals 1? Plug the x equal 1 and get the value right here. This one. Plug the x equal 2, get the value right here. So let me use the first one, x equal 1. So that it n is 4, right? X is 1. Now x equals 1. X is 1. Binomial coefficient is this one. Then what is p? 0.45 to the power x. X is 1. 1 minus 0.45. 1 minus p to the power n minus x. N is 4. X is 1. Plus this one. Just plug x equal 1, 2, 3, 4. Separate. Okay. Let me write the last one. This one. Okay. X equal 4. N is 4. X is also 4. 0.45 to the power is 0.45 to the power x. X is 4. 1 minus 0.45 to the power 4 minus 4. P minus, sorry, n minus x. X is 4, so 4 minus 4. It is 0. So what is the power of any value power of power 0, which is 1. Any number, doesn't matter how big it is. Power 0 is 1. Okay. Although it's a negative number, doesn't matter. Power 0 is 1. Right. Now you can plug the values. I mean, just do the simplification and get the values. I have the values. I think, yeah, I have those values. I have those 4 values. Okay. 0.2995 plus 0.3675 plus 0.2005 plus, yes. So answer is 0.9085. Probability of winning. Not this one. This one. Probability of winning. Yes. Yeah.
Can we also p equals 0, 1 minus p equals 0, or px equals 0?
What do you mean by that?
So we're trying to find the probability of 1 to 4, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing left is 0. So
Yeah. It's the second technique. That's what I'm going to explain next. Okay. So this is the first method or first technique. Okay. But you need to find everything what you need. This is the first way to solve this. The second way to solve this is using complementation rule. Okay, which means first you find whatever you don't need and then subtract that value from 1. That's the idea. Which means this one. You need to find this guy, probability of x greater than or equal 1. Then you can subtract what you don't need from 1. X, what you don't need, less than 1, right? This is what you don't need. This is what you don't need, right? So 1 minus what you don't need. Then you can get what you want. Because I told you x has how many values? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You need these 4. But you don't need this guy, right? You don't need this one. So find the probability of x equals 0, which means here 1 minus probability of x equals 0, right? What is x less than 1? Which means only 0. You have only 0. These are discrete values. Okay. So find this guy, which means 1 minus. If you use this, don't forget to use a giant bracket. Okay. Otherwise, you will mess with the calculations. So plug the x equals 0 to this binomial distribution. N is 4, x is 0. Again, p is 0.45, no problem. X is 0, right? 1 minus 0.45. N minus x. N is 4, x is 0. If I simplify this a little bit, it's going to be 40. What is this? To the power 0, 1. So you don't need this one. You need 1 minus 0.45 to the power 4. And don't forget the bracket. Simplify this and get the 1 minus. That's it. So 1 minus, I have the answer for this, whatever inside the bracket. It is 0.0915. So if you simplify, you will get the same answer. Okay. Okay. So either way, it doesn't matter. If you have so many values to find, then use the, so at that point, it's better to use this complementation rule. 1 minus what you don't need. Okay. Okay. It depends on the problem. So you will get very similar, not very similar, but this kind of binomial question. Okay. Okay. Any questions from binomial? There is a binomial question. Okay. So please prepare for that. And also please check your, please check the examples, what we have done in the notes section, not section, chapter 5. Okay. Because we have covered all types of questions, all types of binomial related questions in the lecture notes. Okay. Right. So today I'm going to use like bottom to top approach. So I'll start the review from the bottom. Okay. Otherwise, I cannot finish. I can cover the last sections, chapter 9, chapter 8. Those are very important. That's why I'm going up, bottom to top. Okay. Last few questions based on chapter 11 and 10. So I'm going to skip that. I told you I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to skip that. Let me find something in chapter 9 and below. Sample mean standard deviation given, use one mean, one mean, which means chapter 9. 50. Let me check whether I have the answers. 50, 50, 50. Oh, yes, I have. If I cannot finish everything, I think, yes, I cannot. I may not finish everything. So I'll send you the answers. Okay. I already done 45. So the rest of 10, I'll write and send it to you. Okay. Maybe this evening, maybe tonight. Okay. Anyway, I'll send it to you because I think I cannot finish everything. Okay. This question, number 50. Sample mean, sample standard deviation. What happened? Okay. Sample mean, sample standard deviation, sample size, they are given. Okay. So this is about one mean, which mean chapter 9 or below. Okay. One mean t-test. If this is a t-test, you should know what is going to happen. Okay. Perform hypothesis test. So here you don't need to mention null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Everything is given. Only thing is you need to find the answer. You have some calculations to do. Check these two. Your null and alternative hypothesis. Sorry, up to this point. Alpha is given. So as I mentioned, always try to, yes, if they haven't mentioned, always try to use the critical value approach. So all answers are based on critical value approach. See, critical value, critical value, critical value. You need to find what? You need to find the test statistic. You need to find the critical value. Your decision, whether you reject or not. I think that's all. Yes, based on that decision, you have to check the claim. Okay, check the claim. How do you find the test statistic? Where's my 50? Since they have given what is mu naught, so this is going to be your mu naught. Okay. Once you calculate the test statistic, you can use this mu naught. Okay, 26. This is what kind of test? Less than, which means left tail test. This is your rejection region. Okay. Okay. First, how do you find the test statistic? Chapter 9. Let me use this. Chapter 9 t-test. This one. I don't know whether you can see this one. Okay. You need the DF as well. Degrees of freedom. Clear? Okay. So what is degrees of freedom here? DF n minus 1. N 25. So 25 minus 1, 24. So your degrees of freedom is 24. Let's calculate the test statistic T, which is x bar minus mu naught divided by S over square root of n. Okay. So all values are given. X bar is what? 24.4 minus mu naught, 26. This is going to be a negative value. Doesn't matter. S 9.2 divided by square root of n, square root of 25, which means 5. Clear? Oh, I'll write it like this. Otherwise you will confuse. Okay. The value is negative 0.87. Value is negative 0.87. Now you are going to what? Keep this value as it is. Now you are going to find the critical value based on this alpha. So you are going to find T alpha because this is a one-tail test. So go to the T table and find T alpha. Value definitely negative because this is a left tail. So doesn't matter about the sign. Find the T alpha. What is alpha? 0.05. Go to the T, and don't forget your degrees of freedom, which is 24. Go to the T table. Let me. I think I don't. Sorry guys, I forgot to open that T table. Oh, I have T table. Yes, here. It is horizontal, but first try to catch the degrees of freedom 24. Okay. 24. There is 24 here. Okay. So based on this table, you have to go down 24 and what is that 0.05, right? So what is, yeah, this one, see 0.05. So the corresponding value is this one, 1.711. Yes, 1.711. So this value is 1.711. Okay, this should be negative because it is a left tail test. Clear? So this negative, don't think about that it came from nowhere. No, it came because we have a left tail test. That's why it is negative. Okay, I told you in T table there are no negative values. All values are positive. Negative and positive, you have to decide whether it is negative or positive. Okay, so this is this one. Now you have to check. Yes, you if you check. Yes, actually you don't need to do any do more calculations because you can find the answer using these two, using T and critical value. See, critical value is negative 1.71. So that value is here and here. So definitely answer going to be this one or this one. Then you can check what is the test statistic. So definitely answer is this one. Okay. So try to, I mean, in the exam, since you have this kind of multiple choice questions, try to try to be smart with the problems. Okay. So that you can save your time. Since I'm teaching you how to do this problem, let me go forward and explain you how to do, what to do next. This is your critical value. This is your critical value. This is your test statistic. Okay. Now you have to compare these two. Compare these two. Compare these two. Which one greater than which one? This is negative 0.8. So let me use the notations. This is T. This is your test statistic, and your T alpha is this one. Negative T alpha is this one. So your T greater than your T alpha DF. Negative, that doesn't matter. Okay. Which means you do not reject because it is outside the rejection region. Your test statistic is in outside the rejection region, not inside this. It is somewhere here. So do not reject H0. Okay. See, your answer is do not reject H0. Okay. Clear? Those are the steps. But as I mentioned, once you find the test statistic and the critical value, most of the time you can find the correct answer. Okay. Clear? Questions? These are definite questions. Okay. So please pay your attention for these kind of questions. Very similar questions are there, not just one, many questions. Okay. Many mean not 20, 30 questions. Many mean 5, 6, or maybe 10 questions from chapter 9 and chapter 8. Okay. Okay. If you have any question, please ask. I'll try to skip the similar questions. Okay, this is the same thing, but here you have to use the Z test instead of T test. And see, as I mentioned, specifically they have mentioned use the P value. Okay. Right. Let me find. Okay, first, what's this? How do you find the C statistic? Your test statistic. If you don't remember the formula, then just fine. You can go to the formula sheet and find it. This one. C test statistic. Only difference is you don't need the degrees of freedom. You replace S by sigma. That's it. Sigma is given, right? Yeah. Here it's given. Okay. X bar minus mu naught. What is your mu naught? This one. Divide by S over square root of n. Oh, sorry, not S, sigma. Here it is sigma, it's given. Okay. I need p-value. I need to find the p-value as well. Okay, plug the values to this one. Okay, you can find the test statistic Z. Okay, first tell me which kind of test. It is again left tail test. It is left tail test. So your C value 49. Negative 2.98. Okay, this is a test statistic value. How do you find the p-value? You have to find the p-value based on this value. Okay, so go to the table and find the p-value with respect to negative 2.98. This is what you need to find. This is a left tail test, something like this. Easily you can find the delta or this area using your Z table. Okay. Since it is negative 2.98, okay, go to the C table. It is negative 2.98. So you have to use first C table. Negative 2.98. Negative 2.9. Rest of the 0.08. This is your value. Probability value. Clear? Your value is 0. Let me write it down. Write down here. You need to find the probability based on negative 2.98. You need to find this. I mean, simply probability of this. Okay. To do that, you can split this one. Negative 2. Forget about the negative sign for a moment. 2.9 plus 0.08. Right? So this guy you can find using the C values. It is negative, don't forget that. So that value is right here, 2.9 plus 0.08 here using the columns. Find the intersection point, which means this value 0.0014. This is the probability. This is the probability. Oh, you can call it area. Probability or area, they are same. Okay, clear? Right. So this value is p value or probability value with respect to this one 0.0014, which means this area delta, this area. Okay, now you have to compare. Since this is p-value approach, compare alpha and this delta or your p-value. What happened? Your alpha is 0.05. Your delta or this value is 0.0014. Definitely, what happened? Greater than this value, which means what? Reject. Your delta, I mean that area somewhere here. Not delta, sorry, alpha. Somewhere here. So your delta is inside the alpha, which means inside the rejection region, reject test node. So you know what is the p-value? This one. What is the C value? This one. And answer is reject test node. Okay. Okay. Questions? Right. Start from. Okay. This is p-value approach. I think 9.4. I think 9.5 is the question number 50 belongs to 9.5. If I'm not wrong, it's going to be 9.4. Anyway, this is chapter 9. Okay. So chapter 9 questions, they are pretty similar to this type of, this type. Okay. It's very similar to these questions. I think your exam paper, the order of the questions, very similar to this one, starting from chapter 1 to 9, 10, 11, something like that. Or maybe 9, 11, 10, something like that. Clear? Okay. Since this is p-value approach, I would like to skip this one. I think this is very similar to previous one. But the thing is, this test should be what? Two-tail. This is two-tail. Again, since this is a C test, you have to use the previous equation to find the test statistic. Okay, 9, this one. It's a 1 mean C test. Okay, sigma is given, so no problem. 1 mean C test. Again, what we need to find p-value. Okay, you need just here, you just need to find the p-value. Same thing, but here it's not a hypothesis test. Yes, it's a hypothesis test, but you don't need to worry about that because they need to find the p-value only to 4 decimal places. Okay, this is very important. 4 decimal places. You must keep your answer up to 4 decimal places. Okay. If the last decimal is 0, so you can skip that, but otherwise you have to keep the 4 decimals. Calculate it up to 5 decimals, round it up or round it down to 4 decimals. Okay, that's how it works. C value is given, you need to find the P. So this is two-tail test. $47. C value is given. This is a two-tail test. So it's going to be like this. So your C values are like this. Since Z is given, C means your test statistic, right? Yeah, test statistic is the C. It is given. Since this is two-tail, you should know that this C value, positive and negative, because it is two-tail. So this side, it should be negative 1.31 and this side 1.31. Same value because it is two-tail. Clear? Don't forget it. Now, what do you need to find? P-value. How do you find the P-value? Let me consider this part, this area delta. This area also delta. So your P-value equals to 2 times delta. How do you find the delta? Just consider this side. They are equal, no problem. They are equal. How do you find this area? Go to the C table and find the area belongs to this value, negative 1.31. Okay, negative 1.31. C table, negative 1.31. So negative 1.3, where is that? 3 point here. Negative 3 point, sorry, negative 1.31. Negative, sorry, value is 1.31. Sorry, negative 1.3. You need to find negative 1.3. Here. Sorry, value is negative 1.31. So where is the 0.01? So the value is this one. Delta. Okay, this value. Oh, sorry, I think I have the values. Yes. So delta is 0.1902. How do you find the p value? 2 times 0.1902. This is going to be, oh, sorry, delta is 0.09. Oh, sorry. This is the answer actually. Value is 0.0951. Let me check it. Yes, 0.0951. Okay. 2 times 0.0951, which is 0.1902. Okay, that's the p value. So always, how do you find the p value? P value you need to find with respect to probability, with respect to your test statistic. Okay, that's how you find the p value. Any questions? So yes, as you can see, these questions will take like maybe 1-2 minutes. So you have to save your time using first few questions at least. Maybe first 10 questions, they're going to be pretty easy questions because chapter 1. So try to save your time from the beginning. You don't have any specific questions, right? If you have any specific question, please tell me. Otherwise, I think I'll miss many questions. Okay. P value is given, alpha is given. Decide whether null is rejected or not. P value hypothesis given. Okay, in general, okay, not in general. If you are considering p value, your decision criteria is always, okay, if alpha greater than or equal, no, not greater than, yes, alpha greater than or equal, your p value, then reject H0. H0 means null hypothesis, okay, your null is H0, that's the notation. Else, definitely do not reject. This is the decision criteria for the p value. It doesn't matter about the test. Left tail, right tail, two tail, doesn't matter. If you see p value, this is the decision criteria. Okay, so based on this, you can see your alpha is greater than p value, so reject your H0. Clear? Right. Type 1 error, type 2 error. Okay. Okay. So what kind of sorry, not type. What kind of error is this? Type 1 or type 2? For this one, actually, this is the easiest way to find the answer, because in this course, actually, when I was talking about type 1 and type 2 error, I told you that the major problem or the crisis happen if we do not deal with the type 1 error. Okay, that's why we started to deal with type 1 error. Okay, in this section, in this course. So almost all the time we are dealing with type 1 error because that's a crucial one. So I mean, you don't need to think about too much. If this kind of question, most of the time, it's going to be a type 1 error because we are dealing with type 1 error. We haven't done any calculations based on type 2 errors. Type 2 errors, it has another notation called beta, because since we are dealing with alpha, alpha means type 1 error. Okay, alpha is the notation to mention the type 1 error. This alpha mean this alpha. Same thing, same alpha. This is also the type 1 error, alpha. Okay. Since we are dealing with alpha, which means we were dealing with type 1 error. So almost, always, if you need to find the error, whether it is a type 1 error or type 2 error, most of the time you can stick with type 1 error. Okay. Yeah. There are no calculations in this question. There is no thing called correct decision because we need to check this hypothesis test. So it's not about correct decision. It's about how we deal with type 1 error. I think I can do another. Let me write that table. Do you remember that type 1, type 2 correct decision, no, type 2 error, that table? Let me write it down. I think that's the last thing I can do today. This is the table. Actual scenario. This we did. Okay. Actual, this is gonna be like this. Reject. Reject test not. Do not reject test not. Decide decision. Okay. Okay. Here H naught is true, H naught is false. H naught true, H naught false. Okay. Actual scenario. Actually, H naught is true. Actually, H naught is false. These columns. Okay. This rows based on first one reject H naught, second one do not reject H naught based on our decision. Okay. Okay. Actual scenario. H naught is true. We reject H naught. Correct or not? No, it is wrong. Actually, it is true. If it is true, we do not reject it. Okay. We don't need to reject it. But this one, it is wrong. It's not true, but we reject it. No, we don't need. We reject it. So it is wrong. We call this type 1 error. This scenario, correct decision. If H naught is false, we simply reject it. What about this one? H naught is true, we do not reject it. Right? It's correct. Here, wrong, this is the type 2 error. Okay. Using this, let me explain the previous question. Okay. In the past, meaning running time for flash battery has been 8.1 hours. The manufacturer was changeable. Method was to perform a hypothesis test whether the mean running time has increased as a result. Okay. There is a claim. They have done a claim. Based on the results, lead to rejection of the null hypothesis, which means simply reject H naught. Okay. If the true thing is mean running time has not increased, so the truth is what? Truth is H naught is true. Okay. Here the truth is H naught is true, but we reject H naught. Okay. See, reject test note. Based on the results, they reject test note, but at the end of the sentence, they have mentioned if in fact the mean running time has not increased. Although S note is true, we reject S note. So what kind of problem? This one. That's why it is type 1 error. So I think this is the exact way to explain this kind of problem with this table. Clear? Okay. Something. Oh yes. What about this one? It is very same. See, sample lead to non-rejection, which means do not reject H naught. Okay, this is another way. Reject H naught, do not reject H naught based on the results. But in fact, they have mentioned running time has increased. Has increased, which means H naught is false, right? But we do not reject. See, we do not reject. This one has changed, has increased, which means not this one, right? Not this one. So it is type 2 error. This one. H naught is false, but we do not reject it. Okay? This decision means decisions what we are taking based on our experiment or our calculation. Okay, I think that's the maximum I can do. Yes, there are many questions I didn't discuss. I'll send you the answers for those questions as well as the other questions. Okay. So guys, then I wish you good luck for your final exam and rest of your academic life.